Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Company Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we have ourselves the conclusion of the best of three between RedxWings and VIPUKS in Faymonville Approach. So as I said, our heroes are RedxWings, playing once again as the Soviets in the blue. And his opponent, well, as it was in the past two games, it is once again going to be HOI-VIPUKS playing as the austere in the red. So we saw Mr. VIPUKS getting the win on game 1, RedxWings coming back for a win on game 2, and now we have the ace match, game 3 being played all in the same map. So as in the previous game, we saw Mr. RedxWings going for his tier 1. Gonna be getting some penal battalions, and he got his, second combat engineer squad. So that is good. And then we have Mr. VIPUKS doing pretty much the same, getting tier 1 and getting grenadiers, 2 grenadiers off to start with, and I'm assuming he's going to be getting a 3rd grenadier once that goes through. He is laying down some barbed wire this time around, so to deny heavy cover in this area, which is not a bad idea, especially because these guys can do that while they're still capping. So yeah, I mean, those are good little tips and tactics that, these players go for. So once again, we have the combat engineer set up in the heavy cover of the tractor, and the piles are capturing the point nearby, but I don't think this time around they're just going to go and smack themselves into each other. So it was a very similar one. Now we see that the piles are closing the distance, the combat engineers do get themselves into position, and the grants are coming up behind the combat engineers. So same all, but this time the combat engineers decide, you know what, we are going to disengage because this time we do not have the advantage over the piles. So VIPUKS learning from his mistakes in the previous game and improving upon them. That is the quality and the sign of a good player. You don't make the same mistakes twice. So combat engineers trying to backpedal away for RedxWings. He realizes, well, I'm getting chased, so I'm going to go ahead and retreat. Down to 3 men on his combat engineers. Makes it out of there, obviously. It's very rare that you would see a kill that early in the game. And the guys make it out just fine. Penal Battalion, for its part, pushes all the way to the front. Gonna get the strategic point outside of VIPUKS' base, and the Grens are forced to retreat as the SVTs are more in number and strength. So there they go. Far in the upper north, we have the RedxWings victory point getting capped by the Grenadiers. And we have the combat engineers behind the lines, so much the same. So yeah, I mean, both players already are established with their build orders, and they know exactly what they want. But like I said, I mean, it looks like VIPUKS is going to be adjusting his play to better suit what he saw from RedxWings in the previous game, and he is now getting himself an MG42 right off the bat. So, well, not off the bat, but early on. We saw the MG42 very late in the game last time, so there we go. Scout car is on the field for Mr. RedxWings this time around. He has not selected his Doctrine. He still has the Soviet Reserve Army there, so maybe he'll still go for it, but this time he just goes straight for the Scout car, getting himself a 3rd Penal Battalion, and getting flamethrowers equipped on his Penal Battalions, which is what you would expect in a more general setting. MG42 at the front of the base manages to get the suppression going on the Penal Battalion. Penal Battalion down to 3 men, forced to retreat. Grens closing the distance. They'll retreat, they'll make it out of there just fine. And up in the right-hand side, combat engineers sneaking behind the Grens, trying to decap that victory point once again. The Grens trying to give the chase, and, well, they do, but the combat engineers are not wanting to retreat just yet. Scout car in the center of the map still has not been garrisoned or boarded by anybody. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Anyways, yeah, nobody inside the scout car just yet. We just see it roaming around. Obviously, it does still have that 50 cal and 30 cal in the back, so it's still a very good weapons platform. As you can see right there, down goes one of the Grens, forces them to back off, and they'll probably end up retreating. Center map, we do have a bigger clustering of troops for Mr. VIPUKS. He has 2 Gren squads on the field, and the MG just covering their movements. And we see tier 2 going down for VIPUKS rather earlier, I suppose. While we still have nothing for Mr. RedxWings, he does select his own Doctrine, however. That is the Tank Hunter Tactics. That is a Doctrine that we don't see that often. VIPUKS went for the Mechanized Assault Doctrine. No Assault Grants just yet. I don't think he's going to be getting that. He's probably going to go for the Stuggy, that little thing. And but yeah, I mean, the Tank Hunter Tactics, like I said, not something we see very often. Down in the south, 2 Grens engaging a combat engineer squad down to 1 man. A very close call there. Forced to retreat, but it did manage to decap this point at the very least. Penal Battalion with flamethrowers going to try to move in to intercept these squads. They set themselves up in some heavy cover, so they'll be able to provide a nice base of fire. Grens are in a little bit of weird cover, though, because they are on the side, so they don't actually get the real benefit there of the cover. But still, with, you know, a secondary Gren squad nearby, they're going to win that engagement against Penal Battalions. Scout car still moving around, nobody inside. And yeah, let's see, Tank Hunters. It says RPG-40 anti-tank grenade assault. Conscript squads can assault a target vehicle with multiple smaller RPG-40 anti-tank grenades. Problem is we don't have conscript squads on the field, so that ability is not being utilized. MG-42 catching a Penal Battalion out in the open. They're trying to close the distance, and they do so relatively effectively. These 2 guys were very brave and actually continue to run forward. However, with a scout car now on the field for VIPUKS as he went for tier 2. Gotta get that autocannon upgraded. There we go. Remember, with the autocannon, you do not lose any anti-infantry capabilities anymore. You actually kind of gain some because the autocannon itself can actually do damage to infantry even if it isn't specialized. So scout cars, GTFOs, gonna go back to the base and probably get equipped with something else. Now, let's see. The Doctrine also gives you the PMD-4 light anti-vehicle mines. Allows combat engineers and conscripts to build cheap and quick to place anti-vehicle mines that will temporarily stop vehicles. PTRS package allows conscripts to equip PTRS rifles. Engineer salvage kits. Combat engineers can be upgraded. Salvage kits allow them to gather resources from vehicle wrecks. And anti-tank bombing run. So it seems like a weird Doctrine selection that he has so far because, I mean, we have the PTRS package and the anti-tank grenade assault package that only applies to conscripts, and, well, RedxWings is not utilizing that. We do have the mines that can be laid down. I'm not sure if he's actually laid down any mines, but he has the ability on his combat engineers. Conscripts also get that, but, again, he doesn't have conscripts. And then the engineers can salvage stuff. I mean, he does have 2 combat engineers, so that's kind of nice. And then last, I mean, that's strafing runs. But yeah, I mean, 2 of the abilities that you get are for conscripts, and he's not using conscripts. So I'm interested to see why he selected this Doctrine and what he's going to do. I'm assuming so far it's going to be for that. Okay, well, there we go. Never mind. Now he has conscripts on the field. I was talking too much, and now the conscripts are out. So yeah, you can now see that the conscripts have the anti-tank grenade assault. That means they don't actually have to research the anti-tank abilities, anti-tank grenade from the headquarters. So he's just getting medics. So now, yeah. So anyways, fighting all over the place. The German 222 pushing away some penal battalions, as you know, as it should. We got conscripts inside of the scout car. That is an interesting choice. I mean, I don't think they can throw anything from on top of that, but they do have the ability to get upgraded with PTRS rifles, so that is something to keep in mind. Conscripts are nearby. They are decapping that fuel point. Are they actually going to go for the anti-tank barrage? I'm assuming... Let's see. Left-click target vehicle, no area effect. Must hit target to deal damage. I'm assuming the barrage... These aren't homing anti-tank grenades like the ones you get by default, right? So the vehicle has to be kind of stationary. Well, anyways, LMG equipped on the Grens, and the 222 is just wrecking the conscript squad, forcing it to retreat. Right-hand side, Gren squads moving all together. Combat engineers not able to stop them. Panzer Grenadiers now on the field. Look, I actually didn't make the mistake. It's Panzer Grenadiers. And center. So VIPUKS, fuck, that's a difficult name to pronounce. Actually doing a lot better this time around. He seems to be far more in control of the situation. So let's see what ends up happening. Pios getting Minesweepers upgraded. That's very nice of VIPUKS to also do that. He realized last game mines were quite a nuisance for him and ended up costing him some casualties on his 222 and such. So he is not gonna let that happen again and gets a sweeper to make sure that he clears out those nasty mines. Penal battalions with flamethrowers having its way with a Grand Squad. Grand Squad is forced to retreat down to 1 man. Scout car pushing forward. It does have the conscript squad inside now with PTRS rifles. PTRS rifles able to do impressive amounts of damage to a scout car because it's slightly armored and they shoot relatively fast. It's 2, right? Let me see if I select the other one. 2 heavy PTRS rifles, yeah. So basically the same amount of anti-tank capabilities that a guard squad would provide you without the armor. So Scout Car still moving up in the north. Grand Squad getting relatively close, not in range for a Faust, but you know, gets itself in range to be shot in the face and one of them dies. Conscript still trying to capture some territory over on the right-hand side. Left-hand side, we see penal battalions and combat engineers just moving around. Oh, nasty grenade going off on the conscript squad. They end up... Was there an S minefield there? It looked like an exploding S minefield, but... maybe not. I don't know. Oh, conscript squad goes down to an intercepting Panzer Grenadier squad. A classic maneuver there. Excellently, perfectly executed by VIPUKS. He forces a retreat of an already damaged squad right into the hands of another squad waiting that can fire on it on the move and eliminate the remaining troops. Penal Battalion playing ring around the house here with that Grenadier squad. Scout Car notices it. MG42 now getting caught by behind. The Penal Battalion going to be popping into the house to provide itself some cover and have a lot of base of fire. Rifle grenade goes off into the house, doing some damage to both the house and the units inside, but they were all very healthy and they managed to survive the explosion. Flamethrower going off on the Scout Car. The Scout Car really doesn't care about that, doing a lot of damage in there. Soviet Scout Car moves in range with its PTRS rifles. However, it is obstructed here by the Grand Squad. Grand Squad manages to get in range for a Faust. Faust goes off. The Scout Car takes the damage, forces a retreat. The Scout Car, or the 222, is in range to finish it off. The conscript squad pops its ugly head. Oh, they're able to repair too? No, the conscripts are outside. Okay, never mind. That looks weird. That actually made it look like the guys outside were the conscripts. Never mind. Okay, well, very bold move there by RedxWings, repairing right there on the front lines, but I guess he kind of needed to do that. Combat Engineer Squad on the right-hand side is going to very quickly fall if it doesn't retreat, and it does retreat. More conscripts on the field for Mr. RedxWings. Going to be continuing to push forward. PTRS rifles are getting researched or upgraded. They do run themselves into the frying pan, so they just fucking run away. And Penal Battalion with flamethrowers are going to push forward as they have a lot better of a time fighting against the infantry. 222 though is there to support. MG on top, and the autocannon will be providing some nice damage there to the Penal Battalion. Penal Battalion once again retreats. And we see Tier 4 has gone down for Mr. RedxWings, and he's getting himself his Su-76. Almost a signature move there by Mr. RedxWings, because he is, well, kind of a magician with them. I have seen him in multiple replays utilize the Su-76 to great effect, and it is one of my favorite units that is very underused, in my opinion. Conscript Squad moves up, merges with the Penal Battalion to keep it on the field. However, the amount of damage going on is too much. Oh, shots fly. Everybody retreats as they see the Su-76 has made its presence. Shot almost nails the Pioneer Squad, and the Su-76 stops its barrage. As it knows, well, you know, I'm not going to hit anything anymore. But yeah, Su-76 is a very powerful tool to have on the field. Its free barrage, artillery barrage that it can throw is devastating against infantry when used correctly, and it has a decent anti-tank or anti-vehicle main gun. It cannot stand to go toe-to-toe against other tanks, of course, but it is a very nice support unit, and if you have it, you know, covering your other tank, like a Su-85 maybe, you know, it does a lot. Pack guns are also very susceptible to its light artillery barrage, so yeah, I mean, it's just such a great unit. It does require a lot of skill to use, so it is a little bit less popular, I guess you could say. Penal Battalion in the center, going for the strategic point. Scout Car going to be harassing them. It looks like they're going to be running into the arc of fire of an MG42. They are now suppressed, and they will soon be pinned down. They're still trying to capture the, or at least decap the fuel point, but I do not think they're going to be able to get the decap before they get pinned down. There they go, only about halfway before they get pinned, and they force a retreat. Su-76 moves in to try to dislodge that machine gun. Barrage goes off. Oh, it impacts on the wall. We now have this Dougie coming onto the field. Oh, nice hit. Down to 2 men. But the Su-76 knows that it cannot just simply sit there a little bit too close to the front lines and barrage, because it's going to get killed. So he at least forced the retreat. Penal Battalion back on its feet, and is going to continue to decap the point. Stuggy now on the field. Where's your stubby little cannon? Yeah, there you go. Stuggy moving over onto the left-hand side. Penal Battalion going to take a lot of damage to it, but the SU-76 is actually rather good against the Stuggy. It does have to be careful, though, because it'll take a lot of damage to it as well. It's not very heavily armored. Oh, nice setup here by Mr. VIPUKS. He brings in the Stuggy on the flank. Pack-on on the, well, not the Stuggy. The Stuggy to the front, Pack-on on the flank, and eliminates the SU-76 in one fell swoop. An unfortunate loss there for Mr. RedxWings, and now that puts him severely behind. Grenadier squad's pushing forward. They're going to recapture all the territory. One of them is going to go for the fuel. We do see a combat engineer squad sneaking over on the left-hand side. Going to try to go for the victory point. Right-hand side, combat engineer squad as well, going for the victory point. And Panzer Grenadiers lying in wait, trying to sneak another ninja kill. We do have something here. It's a demo charge. Whose is it? VIPUKS. Aha, it's RedxWings demo charge. Interesting. Penal Battalions push over to the right-hand side, managing to get the kills there. We see that the scout car has finally been eliminated here by VIPUKS. He catches it with the 222, and the 222 eliminates it quickly as the Stuggy is also nearby for support. PTRS rifles getting as much damage as they can here. They are actually doing a lot of damage to the scout car, the 222, down to about maybe 30% strength. Makes its way out of there, and the 222 is still alive. Another Su-76 is going to be produced here by RedxWings. It's going to try to utilize it like a scalpel. See if he can make it worth it, but he has to be rather careful with it now. It was a little bit too far forward. I mean, it probably needed to set itself up somewhere here to be able to back off here, because it had to back off straight through the middle where the enemy was very close. So it was both a great move by VIPUKS and a mistake by RedxWings, but you know, it's a great move by VIPUKS because he capitalized on RedxWings' mistake there. SU-76 is ready for action, as the announcement says there. Grants in the center, harassing. Oh, the Penal Battalion is down to 2 men, very low in health. I think it's gonna die. Oh, a nice attempt there by Mr. VIPUKS, but a little bit too short. Penal Battalion makes it out of there just fine. Su-76 seems to be holding its fire and prioritizing vehicles with its main gun. Artillery barrage does go down on the pack-on. Oh, and it actually nails the 222. The 222 has to back off out of there because it's taking a lot of damage. Pack-on, however, does hold its ground. The Su-76 has a lot of scatter because it is shooting into the fog of war and at max range, so you know it's not going to be very accurate. However, it does nail a majestic hit there down to 2 men on the Pack-on. The Pack-on is going to have to GTFO and reinforce over here, even heal up if it can. Su-76 backing off. It's not going to risk itself too easily this time around, but VIPUKS is in a splendid position here, just getting more Grens onto the field, replacing his losses, and just controlling, well, more of the map. All the victory points and both fuels. So yeah, I mean, RedxWings is not in a good spot. A combat engineer squad looks like it was trying to rush itself into the house to, you know, deny this for a while. Oh, a nasty hit on the conscript squad, and they actually end up losing all their PTRS rifles, and the other squad is forced to retreat. The Grens are actually capable of picking them up, so that's not too big a deal. Jeez. I don't think RedxWings is going to be able to pull this off anymore. Second Su-76 is getting produced, however, hoping that he can turn the tide with that, but he has lost quite a bit. He is down to 3 penals and 1 conscript squad. Not a lot of manpower on his bank, and definitely no fuel. Pack-on taking some shots at the Su-76. The Su-76 backs off. The conscripts are pushing forward. Penal Battalion is there as well. The Penal Battalion cannot actually pick up the weapon. The conscripts as well cannot pick it up, so those weapons are just lying there on the floor. Conscript squad down to 1 man, forced to retreat. The Stuggy just doing what the Stuggy does and being ridiculously good against infantry. Oh shit, yeah, that's game. Tiger getting called onto the field by Mr. VIPUKS. That's gonna be all she wrote. yeah, it doesn't matter if you have two SU-76, they cannot hope to go stand against the Tiger. And that is the problem of going Tier 1, Tier 3, Tier 1, Tier 4, is that you don't have AT guns, or well. Ooh. So the anti-tank bombing run manages to slightly hit the Tiger, stunning it for a second, and now it's fine. Not going to be doing too much, and yeah, I mean, SU-76 lined up, getting some shots off. The pack gun moves up to be able to get them in range. Takes a shot but misses. And Mr. RedxWings is going to back off once again. This anti-tank bombing run did not work out. But yeah, I mean, I want to take back what I said, because there's not too much, I suppose, risk in Tier 1, Tier 4, because you have access to SU-85s, and SU-85s are actually definitely great against tanks. I was actually thinking of Tier 1, Tier 3, where you go Tier 1 and then Tier 3 for quick T-34s, and the problem is that you miss out on the AT guns and are very vulnerable if you lose your T-34s. But anyways, so yeah, SU-76 taking some shots there at the Tiger, trying to fend it off, and they do a little bit, but yeah, I mean, just tell the map. I mean, look at this. Yeah. There's not a lot here that Mr. RedxWings can do. Barrages go off there by the SU-76, it looked like. And they actually nail the pack on. The pack on has been eliminated. The penal battalions and conscripts are pushing forward, trying to force away the Tiger. But, I mean, it still has the Stuggy there for support. Penal battalion down to 2 men, gets itself eliminated here as it pushes forward. Stuggy is going to be targeted here by the SU-76s. But the SU-76s are now vulnerable to the Tiger. The Tiger pushes forward, going to be eliminating one of them. Nope, misses the shot, but they're just backing off. And yeah, down goes one SU-76. Second one will be falling shortly. RedxWings knows it. He decides to back off regardless, but yeah, I mean, down to 50 points for RedxWings, as he has been triple capped for a while. Penal retreating from the right. We see troops moving over to the left in the last desperate attempt, but as most desperate attempts, they tend to not work out. Conscript getting eliminated, down to 1 man, forcing the retreat. Penal battalion, gets itself cluster bombed, or what the hell is it called? Bundle, Nate? GG goes down by RedxWings, GG for VIPUKS, and that is it. So VIPUKS moving forward as he manages to eliminate RedxWings on game number 3. And I gotta say, very well played here by VIPUKS. Even though RedxWings didn't do exactly the same thing, it was similar, at least in the beginning, and VIPUKS adjusted accordingly, and he actually did everything right. I mean, it almost played out exactly the same as to where everybody sent their units, but for example here, he, instead of rushing the Spios, he waited until the Grens were nearby for support. He used the cover and ended up winning that engagement right off the bat. So very nice play by both of them, in fact. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the game. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you have any replays you want to send me, go ahead and send them to the email that I will put in the description. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.